right, good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you all here today. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to meet with the crew and me to talk about owning a HVAC or plumbing or mold remediation business. My name is William, and I am the founder and president of Quantum Franchise Group. We're an award-winning franchise brokerage and consulting firm headquartered in Michigan with offices and team members located all around the country. A few of them are actually in here in the meeting with us today. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Joseph. And hello, Angie. Good to see you here today. We also have in the room with us today the one, the only, the Mr. Jerry Jones, who is the franchise development executive for two of the concepts that we're going to be taking a look at today, heating and air paramedics and plumbing paramedics. So good to have you with us, Jerry. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us today.
Yeah, and there's another individual that I invited to this, William, our brand president. So, folks, I want to introduce Mr. Court Aiken. He's been with the brand since its inception, since its acquisition, and basically started franchising this with the founder back in 2022. But Court Aiken is here as well to field some questions that may be on the support side, the development, what happens after your candidate makes it across the finish line. So we're both here to tag team some answers and questions for y'all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jerry. Court, thank you so much for joining us as well. Happy to have your expertise in the room. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into things. And everybody who's in the room right now, and we had about 20 people register, so I'm sure we'll maybe having a few more trickle in as we get started. But I want to encourage you all to stick around to the end of the webinar because we are going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card just to thank you for your time spending a portion of your Friday with us. So before we jump in to our information today, I want to go back to a share screen here. And I want you to take a look at this slide, and I want you to look at the lower right-hand corner. You'll see a QR code. Go ahead and pull out your cell phone right now, if you would. Scan that QR code and open the website up on your browser. This is a response page. If at any point through our meeting today, you think to yourself, you know what, this sounds really interesting. I really think I could do well with this. I'd like to have a one-on-one call with Jerry or a member of his team. I'd like to get the franchise disclosure document in my hands and begin doing some due diligence. This is the page where you can do that. So just go ahead and scan that code, open it up in your browser, and feel free to submit that form at any point throughout the meeting today. So a couple other housekeeping requests, please. First off, I want to encourage everybody to keep your mics on mute and just to avoid any background noise that could distract others from the meeting. And then also, we are going to have a Q&A at the end of this. So I want to encourage you to, at any point through this meeting, if you have a question, just drop it in the chat. And you'll find the chat box at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Just put your question in there, and when we get to the Q&A time, someone from my team will help us read through those questions, and we'll get them answered by Mr. Jerry or Court. All right, I think that is all the housekeeping stuff that we need to talk about today. So let me get this off of here. And we are going to begin our conversation today with our mold remediation business. And we're going to kick things off by watching just a brief video together.
Moldmedics is the home service brand built by franchisees for franchisees, and we're looking for new entrepreneurs in your market. Franchising is all about shortcutting success, taking the lessons learned and the mistakes that were learned by the franchisor so you're able to get to a successful level in your business much faster than you would starting out on your own. A great example of something we learned is whenever we first got into home services, we recognized the need for a customer experience focused business. Most contractors are very focused on the property and not focused on the person that's living there. By focusing on the people and identifying the issues that they're having and they're experiencing, we're able to provide an experience that no one else in the industry is able to touch.
Once you start seeing how you help the customers, the difference in people's lives that you make, it does get you excited. I'm not gonna lie, I've been excited every day since. And then every step along the way is a new exciting thing.
So by taking our existing background in sales and customer experience and really applying that into the home service field, we've been able to create a system that is light years ahead of our competition, and the call center goes a long way in doing that. It answers all of the inbound calls, it contacts our inbound leads from Home Advisor or from our website, and really helps to significantly lower the administration of the sales process for our franchisees in the field to allow them to focus on the direct customer interactions that are really the core behind our business. Don't wait. Help your local community by opening a Mold-Medics franchise today.
The only thing more popular than me.
All right, we don't want to see any commercials here. We're going to dive right into our presentation. And as we get started today, I want to hit you with a little bit of reality. And the reality is, in the world of franchising, there are businesses that are non-essential, and then there are businesses that are essential, and they are recession resistant, sometimes even recession proof. The three brands that we're going to be taking a look at today are all in that category of being recession resistant, recession proof. When someone's air conditioning or heating unit breaks down, they are going to call you to get that thing fixed, regardless of what is happening with the stock market. Same thing with a pipe bursting in their house and flooding their house. They're not going to wait for the stock market to go back up before they call you to come fix the darn thing. And
Telecom with Andy's fans. We spoke.
And the same thing with mold remediation. When someone discovers that toxic mold inside their house that is making themselves and their children and their pets sick, they're going to call you in.
Front desk to visitor center.
Sorry, I'm having to mute some folks there. So, all right, that's what we're going to be talking about today is recession-resistant businesses, and we're going to start with Mold-Medics. So, who is Mold-Medics? This is an emerging indoor environmental health concept, providing consumer-first home care services that no other franchise currently offers. They are disrupting the industry with their business model here. So let me just talk with you about some of the benefits for franchise owners with the Mold-Medics company. We're talking about a work-life balance here, where it's not a 24/7 business. There is no on-call work, weekend jobs, or late nights. This is a great business for folks who have family and other obligations and things that they enjoy in their life outside of work. There's no office required, no required retail space. This keeps your costs low while simplifying your operations. There is in-house marketing available to you, so you'll be able to enhance your brand visibility and generate consistent leads with custom digital ads, social media, branding, and PR, public relations. And finally, cutting-edge technology. Make business decisions based on real data with real cloud-based scheduling, reporting, and payments. So some great advantages to partnering with Mold-Medics to begin your business. All right. Sorry, my system is glitching here. There we go. All right. So here's something you need to understand about Mold-Medics. We're not just talking about mold. Okay, don't let the name fool you. We're actually talking about 4 different revenue streams with this concept. We are talking about mold testing. We are talking about air duct cleaning. Very, very important. If your family members are all just feeling less than perfect and having respiratory issues and you can't figure out why, there's a possibility that you could need a good air duct cleaning in your home. We're talking about mold removal and home and office disinfection. So the numbers don't lie here. 3,300 homes have been served and over 600 5-star reviews with Mold-Medics. So let's talk a little bit about the strengths of the Mold-Medics business strategy. First, low startup costs. You're talking about an investment as low as $148,000 all in. And when we talk about that startup investment, we're talking about the franchise fee. We're talking about everything you need to open the business, the equipment, the supplies, the inventory, vehicles, marketing, licenses, permits, everything to get your doors open. And we're usually talking about 3 to 6 months of operating capital to make sure you're paying your bills, paying yourself, paying your staff for those first 3 to 6 months while you're scaling up to cash flow positive. So all in business, $148,350. We are looking at a growing demand due to climate change and aging housing. Mold has certainly become increasingly prevalent, so there is a growing demand for this service. A low headcount is another strength of their business strategy. Fewer employees equals fewer headaches. Unlike maybe running a restaurant or something that depends on 30 different minimum wage teenagers, you don't have that here with Mold-Medics. There is a strong ROI potential with diverse revenue streams and high value projects. Year-round business, mold doesn't take the winter off, so neither will you. So you have year-round revenue with this opportunity, and you have experienced backing. Mold Medics is backed by a company called Threshold Brands, which is a home services franchise family of brands that really has an outstanding internal infrastructure to support you as a franchise owner. So it's a great time to become part of something bigger. And if you're a hard worker who takes pride in getting the job done right, you're going to do well with Mold Medics. So here are three of the things that were three primary things that we're looking for. We're looking for someone that is collaborative. You're excited to share resources with fellow franchisees and utilize their experience. You're entrepreneurial. You're a self-starter, a problem solver, ready to achieve and own a business, and you know what it takes to wow. Transformative results, wow, but an amazing experience matters too. So let's talk about the process of opening your business. And first, I want to mention some of these financial qualifiers here. We are looking for people who have a minimum of 50K in liquid capital, whether that's cash in the bank or maybe a combination of cash, home equity, retirement funds, investments that can easily be liquidated. We're looking for that $50,000 minimum liquid capital, and that is really low in the franchising space. So there's a low barrier to entry here. We're also looking for a minimum net worth of 100K. And again, that is a pretty low bar in a good way. So they're making this opportunity available for folks who have a minimum net worth of at least 100K. And the estimated initial investment starts out at 148 on the low end, up to about 267 on the high end. And there are a lot of factors to determine where that investment is going to be. It typically lands somewhere in the middle. So the process of being awarded a Mold Medics franchise, first of all, number one, initial training. After you have been awarded your franchise, you sign your franchise agreement, submit your franchise fee. The next thing that's likely going to happen is you're going to get invited to training. And this is 5 days of practical franchise and technical training that usually occurs at the franchise's corporate office, but we'll let the folks from the brand speak to that. Next, you're going to get licensed, and you're going to have support and guidance all the way through this process to acquire whatever state-specific licenses are required where you live. Equipping you for success, assistance in procuring equipment, vehicle wrapping, marketing materials. You are not on your own. You've got an entire team at Mold Medics that's going to help you with that. Finally, we're going to get ready to launch. You're going to receive on-site launch support at your location. And then after you have opened your business and are doing well as a Mold Medic franchisee, you're going to have ongoing support for as long as you're a franchisee. If you were to open up your own independent mold remediation business, you're going to be out there on your own with really nobody to turn to. Not the case with Mold Medics. Tremendous ongoing support. All right, so I want to walk you through a little bit of the process of being awarded your franchise. And this, the last thing we looked at was the process of getting up and running. Happens before that. This really actually kind of begins today with this webinar. And from here, if you had an interest in opening your own Mold Medics, you would have a discovery call. This would be an initial conversation with one of the folks like Jerry or Cord or someone else on their team. And you will attend their business model webinar, which will be a formal webinar, a little bit different than the one we're doing today. The next step in this process is confirmation. You're going to return an application. You're going to be delivered what's called the franchise disclosure document. And after you've received that document, then you're going to be scheduled for a review call where you will review that document at length with someone from the team. And then you are going to be eventually invited to Discovery Day. Discovery Day is really the last stage in the process. This is where everybody has decided that they're madly in love with one another. They want to put a ring on it and spend the next 10 years together, hopefully longer. That is Discovery Day. So at the end of this process, you'll be invited to attend. You'll meet with the brand leader, the ops team, the marketing team. And if that meeting goes well, you still love them at the end, they still love you at the end, then you are going to be awarded your franchise, delivered a franchise agreement to sign, and submit your franchise fee. Now, a couple of great things about working with me and my team here at Quantum, alongside of Moldmedics, is we're also going to help you with funding. If you need help with SBA loans or penalty-free 401k rollovers, we've got a funding expert on our team that's going to help you with that. And also, we have a franchise attorney on our team that we're going to connect you with at the appropriate stage in the process for that person to review the documents and make sure that you are protected by the terms of the agreement. So this is Moldmedics. This is an industry packed with opportunity. We're looking at being part of a $3 to $6 billion home services industry, with 80% of residential mold claims being handled by insurance companies. And they are projecting a 10% estimated year-over-year growth in the mold remediation business. So this is Moldmedics, and what I'd like to do here is just open it up to Jerry or Cord. If you've got anything you'd like to add to this, I want to hand you the mic. If you don't, just tell me to move on.
No, I just wanted to add that some of you know that Caroline Road was handling the brand for the longest time. We now have Frankie Rosario is the franchise development manager. All of his contact information should be within the FBA portal, but that's who your direct contact will be, is Frank Rosario. So feel free to reach out to him. And you did great. It is a great brand. It's a new business model. I think it's gonna do very well with plumbing paramedics as well, heating and air. A lot of times we run in different things. So good job, William. Great presentation.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Jerry. And I know Frankie very, very well. Had an opportunity to work with him up until recently when he made the change over to Moldmedics. So
yeah, he was at the corporate level for FBA, correct?
He was, yeah.
So almost all y'all know him.
Yeah, great guy, great guy. And for those of you who are candidates who don't know Frankie and have no idea what the heck we're talking about, trust us, he's a great guy. And if you choose to move forward with Moldmedic, you're going to be in good hands with Frankie. All right, we're going to pivot now, and we're going to talk about heating and air. And I know most of you who are here in the room today were interested primarily in heating and air, but hey, maybe you'll be interested in the mold of the plumbing concept as well. But we're going to take a few minutes to talk about heating and air paramedics. So we're going to jump down to this page here. Who is Heating and Air Paramedics? This is a company that was launched 10 years ago. From a humble one truck operation to a formidable fleet of high-tech vans and skilled technicians, affectionately known as paramedics. So this is what we're talking about here. This is a bit of an emerging brand. They are a little bit newer on the scene, but in the franchising space, but a very solid company with a great history of experience here. All right, what makes heating and air paramedics different? Now, there is no hiding the fact that in every city that you're sitting in right now, there are heating and air companies around that city that do what you're going to be doing as a heating and air paramedics franchisee. But there's a unique charm in being part of a small town family business, and that is what you're going to be in your city, a local business owner. Owners who know their customers by name, avoid aggressive sales tactics, always there when they're needed, and they treat every home with the utmost respect, just as they would their own. So their founder is a gentleman by the name of Ryan Carpenter, who has over 20 years of experience in HVAC, plumbing, small business ownership, and franchising. He laid the foundation, and our current leadership is under the guidance of Cord Aiken, who is in the meeting here today with us as the brand leader. All right, this is a little bit of a bio on the founder, Ryan Carpenter. He grew up working in his family's plumbing and HVAC business in a small town here in Michigan, where I'm located. I was there that he learned what it meant to work in the service industry. He actually founded Plumbing Heating Paramedics in 2011, and he has spent the last decade building the organization to where it is today. They're part of the Threshold family, like we mentioned before, and they are ready to help you become a successful owner within their system. We mentioned that Threshold Brands is really the franchise development company driving growth with these concepts and supporting them internally. Threshold Brands was established in 2021. All right, so who are we looking for in heating and air paramedics? So Of course, we are looking for people who are HVAC professionals. They know the business. Maybe they're licensed and certified HVAC folks. Some of you may actually already own your own HVAC system and you're looking to potentially rebrand under the Heating and Air Paramedics brand name. So we are looking for HVAC professionals, but hold the phone, time out, pause. You don't have to be. All right. The great news here is you do not have to be an HVAC professional to own a heating and air paramedics. You know what they're really looking for? They're looking for incredible men and women who know how to run a business. All right. Can you implement and execute a system? Can you execute marketing strategies with the help of heating and air paramedics? Can you hire the right technicians? Can you manage financials and create a wildly successful and profitable heating and air company? That's who they're looking for. It doesn't matter what background you come out of. So, ideal candidates, they excel at customer service. They understand the value in an honest service-based business. And as a heating and air paramedics franchise owner, you're going to take pride in being relied upon by your community day or night. So what are you going to do? There's not a lot of mystery here. We all know what HVAC companies do, but let's break it down for you. Be ready to scale your business the smart way. So you're going to be offering quality HVAC solutions to customers for all of their heating and cooling needs. In the heating space, you're going to be installing new heating units. You're going to be doing repairs to existing heating units, furnaces, energy saving, ductless cleaning, heat pumps, and more. And on the cooling side, do air conditioning units, AC repairs, ductless AC, programmable thermostats, energy efficient solutions as well. So this is what you're going to be doing as a heating and air paramedics franchise owner. And again, I want to touch on how valuable this is. You're going to utilize efficient best practices developed by the heating and air paramedics team. Again, if you're starting your own independent HVAC company with no support, no backing, you're going to go through a lot of trial and error. You're probably going to pay more for your equipment. You're not going to have anybody to turn to. But with heating and air paramedics, you're going to have all that support and you're going to have a plug and play system. All of the stumbles and the falls and skinning of the knees and the mistakes, they've already been made by other people and they've figured out how to avoid those. And that's what they're going to teach you to make sure that you have the greatest chance of delivering rapid results for your company. All right, let's talk a little bit about the location. So whether you're new to business ownership or converting your existing HVAC business, we've got you covered here. New franchise owners, you're going to enjoy the flexibility of the heating and air paramedics model by being able to start and operate your business from home for up to about a year, and then scale up to an 1,800 to 2,400 square foot space. Plus, they are going to make sure that you have the proper equipment and vehicle branding to start your business strong. Now, we mentioned earlier that we're also looking for folks who would like to convert their existing HVAC business into a heating and air paramedics franchise. So their team is going to work with you to transition your brand and adopt the Heating+Air Paramedics best business practices and operations. And then you're going to be able to tap into their hands-on marketing assistance to build the HVAC business that you've always dreamed of having, but have maybe struggled a little bit to scale to the extent that you could scale if you were better supported. All right, let's take a look at the industry snapshot. So U.S. consumer demand is rising for better air quality and climate control within the home. The U.S. HVAC industry is valued currently, in 2020 was valued at $57.8 billion and is expected to reach $82.5 billion by next year, 2026, and grow at a CAGR of 6.1% from 21 to 26. 81% of homeowners will make indoor air quality their main priority, and nearly 90% of American households have some form of air conditioning. Nearly 70% of consumers place value in companies that demonstrate excellence in customer service. So why own a heating and air paramedics franchise? So let's talk about some specific reasons here. First of all, the company is expert-led, founded by Ryan, as we discussed earlier. He's an expert with 20 plus years in HVAC and now being led by Court Aiken, who has extensive operational knowledge in HVAC. Comprehensive training and support. Their step-by-step operating process is what separates them from others. From initial pre-launch to ongoing training and support, their proven operation models mean more consistent service delivery, proven strategic pricing and financing. Now, the company knows that the delicate balance between staying competitive and not losing profit margin. Quarterly strategic pricing and financing options give customers the ability to make more informed decisions. Hot brand partnerships and buying power. Folks, this is one of the biggest advantages in the world of franchising is so many of these franchise systems have cooperative purchasing agreements, which means you're going to be paying less for your equipment, your supplies, your inventory than you likely would if you were out there on your own. All right, hands-on business and marketing coaching. Their marketing and ops teams continuously evaluate the industry and internal trends, and they share those proven strategies with their franchisees. Recruitment and retention. You're going to broaden your hiring reach with access to industry experienced recruiting resources. This is a pain point for just about anybody who's in business and has employees or contractors. How do you find the right people? How do you find people who are going to stick with you and do an amazing job? You're going to be supported by Heating and Air paramedics when it comes to hiring and retention. And then multiple large territories are available with exclusivity. They offer multiple available territories for both new businesses and conversions in key markets nationwide where other brands are oversaturated. All right, let's talk about some franchise facts and figures. How are we going to get you into a Heating and Air paramedic? So on the new franchise financials on the left side of this table, you'll see that there's a $40,000 franchise fee. That is the initial fee that gets you the privileges to operate under the brand, all of the proprietary systems and support, the protected territory, everything that's included with being a franchisee, $40,000. 130 to 271 is the all-in estimated initial investment range. And again, that's the franchise fee, the equipment, supplies, inventory, and 3 to 6 months of operating capital. And there is a royalty of 5% or $1,500 per month. Every franchise in the United States, maybe with one or two exceptions, has some sort of royalty structure. When you go to McDonald's and eat a Big Mac, Mr. McDonald, or I guess, well, yeah, not Mr. McDonald, but whoever's running the company now, they're going to retain a few pennies off that Big Mac. Every franchise system has a small royalty. We normally see that in the 5 to 10% range. So the great news here is Heating and Air paramedics is on the lower end of that royalty range. Now, what if you're a conversion? What if you're an existing HVAC company and you're going to convert under the Heating and Air paramedics brand? Zero franchise fee. 45,000 to 146 is your estimated initial investment range. Folks, if you're in this business, you've already got a lot of the equipment, you've already got the vehicles, you've got a lot. You'll have to rewrap your vehicle with new branding, but you are in a much easier position if you're converting your existing HVAC. 2% royalty fee for the first 24 months, and then it scales up to the regular royalty. Where are we expanding? All over the country. All right. We're expanding Heating and Air paramedic brands across the country. Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, and Michigan in particular are hot growth markets, but we have markets everywhere, all across the United States. So what kind of franchise support can you expect? You're paying that royalty fee, right? So in exchange for that royalty fee, you're probably expecting you're going to get something back from the company, and you're going to get far more back in value than that royalty that you're paying. Proven business model, including their integrated business management systems with P&L insights to take the guesswork out of running your business. Comprehensive training and support. When you come out of training, you're going to know how to run your HVAC business successfully. Marketing services, mobile technology solutions, real-time inventory management, tablet-based payments, consumer financing, and payroll processing is part of your franchise support package. So again, you're going to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So what are some homeowners saying? Well, we have a lot of fantastic reviews by homeowners who have been customers of Heating and Air Paramedics. You'll see some of those there. And then here are a few of the awards that the company has won. Best HVAC Awards in 2019, Franchise Innovation winner in 2022, Best HVAC Professionals in Indianapolis back in 2021. So here are the steps that you will go through to opening your Heating and Air Paramedics. First of all, you're going to complete an inquiry form. We're going to help you make sure that gets done. You're going to connect with our franchise team who is in the house with us today. You're going to review the franchise disclosure document. You're going to meet the Heating and Air Paramedics and Threshold teams at Discovery Day. And again, this is that last step in the process. And then when you have successfully made it through Discovery Day and everybody loves one another, they're going to send you that franchise agreement to sign, send in your franchise fee, attend training, hire your staff, and then launch your Heating and Air Paramedics franchise. So that's our information on Heating and Air Paramedics. We've got one more brand. We're going to look at it here in just a moment. But again, I want to pause and see if Jerry or Court would like to add anything to what we've talked about here or correct anything that I may have misstated.
I'm going to add one, and that is, folks, not only on our staff are the marketing and all the different people, but we actually have a gentleman that spent 15 years out in the field. He spent 7.5 years as a heating and air and plumbing technician. His last 7.5 years, he has been teaching plumbing, HVAC, and electrical at a trades college in Raleigh, North Carolina. His name is Marcus Spriggs, and he's a full-time employee at Threshold representing the Paramedics brands. So not only will you all as owners, but your employees will have access to somebody that actually has spent years doing the repairs, doing those things. And so they'll have them on speed dial. It's just an awesome, it's just really great to know that we have somebody that's been in the trenches, like your employees are going to be in the trenches, and be able to support them that way. Just want to add that. Great job.
All right, wonderful. Now, again, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I do see a couple have dropped in, and we will get to those here after talking about our final brand. And again, I wanted to pop this up on the screen with the QR code. I know a few folks came in late. You may not have seen this at the top of the meeting, but I want you to pull out your phone and scan that QR code. That's going to open up a page on your browser. And at any point during our conversation today, if you decide that you'd like to get more information, that you'd like to have that discovery call with Jerry or the others at the team, this is your way to let us know that. Just fill out that form on the website that comes up when you scan that QR code. And folks, I want to remind you, there's no obligation. There is no commitment when you request that conversation with Jerry. He's just sitting around twiddling his thumbs anyway with nothing to do. I mean, what else is he going to do besides talk to you? So just kidding. This guy is a very busy guy, and he actually bumped another meeting just to be here with us today. So I really appreciate that, Jerry. But back to my point, there's no commitment, no obligation. This is just another step in you deciding if this is something that may be right for you. Okay. All right. Let me get rid of this screen, and we are going to pop up our last brand that we're going to be talking about today. And this is Plumbing Paramedics. Let me get my clicker working correctly here. All right, Plumbing Paramedics. So Plumbing Paramedics is an innovative franchise that stands out from the crowd thanks to a tried and true business model full of industry leading experts. So this company was launched over 10 years ago. Same story, same family. All right, this is same story that we saw with the Heating and Air Paramedics. And the same thing about what makes their brand different. You are going to be a local business owner serving local people and meeting their needs with excellence. Again, here is Mr. Ryan Carpenter, the founder of Plumbing Paramedics as well. We already talked about Threshold brands. Who are we seeking? Well, we're calling all plumbing professionals and business owners who are ready to grow with the Plumbing Paramedics brand. And again, same thing here. If you are a plumbing professional, you have your own plumbing business, wonderful. We want to talk to you. If you don't know how to hold a wrench the right way and twist it the right way to fix a pipe, that's okay too. We're ready to talk with you as well and help you become the owner of a heating and air, or I'm sorry, of a Plumbing Paramedics business. So, as a plumbing paramedics owner, you're going to be in the people business. You're going to offer installation, maintenance, repair services, including but not limited to kitchen plumbing, drains and sewers, bathroom plumbing, hot water solutions, pipes and leaks and sump pumps, and even water treatment solutions. You're going to utilize efficient business practices developed by the plumbing paramedics team, and you're going to take advantage of streamlined operations and technology tools designed to keep your plumbing business running smoothly. Now, I want to pause right here. I want to interject something that I should have interjected earlier. If you're watching these brands here and you're thinking, you know what? I love all three. I don't know which one I would choose. Guess what? You don't have to choose. If you want to open a heating and air paramedics and then come back and open a plumbing paramedics and then open a mold medic and build your own home services empire with these three brands, that's one of the great things about a company like Threshold, who has multiple home services brands under their umbrella. You don't have to open just one company here. You can open an entire portfolio of home services businesses. So again, same story with the business location. You're going to be able to open from home and then eventually scale up to an 1,800 to 2,400 square foot space. And if you are converting your existing plumbing business to plumbing paramedics, we're going to have very strong support to get that done for you. Here are some industry snapshots. Americans value their plumbers. Damn right. We don't want that water all over the floor and all the other nasty stuff that comes with it. The U.S. plumbing industry is a $124 billion industry that has experienced steady growth over the last decade. From 2015 to 2020, the plumbing industry has grown and the plumbing job market is expected to reach 4% annually through 2029. It's recommended that homeowners have their plumbing system inspected by a professional every 2 years. My goodness, I'm in my 50s. I've owned multiple homes, and this is the first time that I've ever heard that statistic. I've never had my plumbing system inspected, but you're supposed to. I learned something new today. So the need is clear. The household leaks waste nearly 10 trillion gallons of water each year, costing U.S. homeowners millions of dollars. In March, when I got my February water bill, I had to pick myself up the floor because it was so large. And we traced the problem back to a toilet in the house where the tank was just running and didn't realize that it had been running so long. So a lot of waste that goes on there. Nearly 70% of consumers place value in companies that demonstrate excellence in customer service. All right, why own a plumbing paramedics franchise? Folks, we already talked about this. It's the same thing as the heating and air paramedics. Expert-led, comprehensive training and support, proven strategic pricing and financing, brand partnerships and buying power, the hands-on business and marketing coaching, recruitment, and retention. Again, you are in business for yourself, but never by yourself. So let's talk about the facts and figures with plumbing paramedics. Very similar here. New franchisees, we're looking at a $40,000 franchise fee. Your estimated initial investment begins at about $128, caps out at about $271, will likely be somewhere in the middle. The royalty is the same, 5% or $1,500 a month. And if you're going to convert your existing plumbing business to plumbing paramedics, $0 initial franchise fee. 46,000 on the low end to 146, because like we said before, you've already got a lot of these expenses out of the way, and that franchise fee is waived for you. 2% royalty fee for the first 24 months, and then you scale up to the regular royalty. Where are we expanding? Same basic places all across the United States, plenty of open territories with a strong focus on Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, and Michigan. Franchise support is the same as with heating and air paramedics, proven business model, comprehensive training and support, marketing services, mobile technology solutions, being in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So the threshold difference, you're going to be able to take advantage of the full support from Threshold's shared services marketing department. Here's some more testimonials from homeowners, and here are the steps that you will go through. You'll complete the inquiry form, you'll connect with the franchise team. Again, you will review the franchise disclosure document. You'll meet with the plumbing paramedics. for Discovery Day. You'll sign the franchise agreement, attend training, and then launch your Plumbing Paramedics franchise. I want to point out another great aspect of working with Quantum Franchise Group through this process alongside of the company. We're here to coach you all the way through this due diligence process. When you work with a brokerage and consulting firm like ours, you're not going through the due diligence by yourself. You've got a coach and an advocate right here to make sure that everything is happening exactly the way you need it to happen in the timing that you need it to happen. So our team of 15, you'll be working with one of us, and we're going to meet with you weekly all the way through this due diligence process to make sure that you are well taken care of. And this is the last slide on the plumbing paramedics. Now, don't anybody run away yet. We've got some Q&A that has dropped into the chat box, and we're going to give away that $50 Amazon gift card at the top of the hour when we wrap. So before we get to the Q&A, again, I just want to hand it back to Jerry or Cord and ask if there's anything that you'd like to add on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to add some great news. Both our brands, Plumbing Paramedics and Heating and Air Paramedics, are live in all non-registration states as of today. Also, we are clear in Michigan, Wisconsin, and North Dakota. So 3 of the 14 registration states have already cleared. So show the brands, folks, we're live. One thing I do want to clarify, on the conversion to qualify for the waived franchise fee and the 2% royalty, you have to have an existing book of business of $250,000 in gross sales in any 12-month period of time. It doesn't need to be a calendar year. It could be June to June. But as long as they have at least $250,000 in existing gross revenue, that qualifies for the conversion. We'll waive the franchise fee and get all those things that you that they showed. So feel free to ask us any questions as you come across those candidates or anybody on this call that may have an existing business. You can certainly reach out to us and we'll go from there.
All right, wonderful. And for those of you who are not familiar with the franchising space, when Jerry is talking about registration states, there's a group of states in the United States where it's a little bit more challenging to go live as a franchise system. That franchise disclosure document has to be submitted on an annual basis. And those, is it 13 or 15? Those registration states, they actually manually review those FDDs before they approve them. Whereas in the remaining 30 some states, it's almost instantly approved and we're able to go live much quicker. But again, plenty of opportunity out there in the United States. All right, so we have
William, I'm sorry, William, if I may, just for a second. First and foremost, yeah, I just want to thank everybody for being on this call. I know that for the folks that are interested in either one of my 2 brands, either one of the 2 paramedics brands, there is a huge amount of respect that I have for all of you guys. This is a huge decision and certainly one that shouldn't be taken lightly. I encourage all of you, whether you're a broker or an individual or a business owner who is looking to either start up a plumbing or heating and air business or convert your existing business, please, please, please take a look at all the options that you have available out there for you and to you. I will tell you that I have been in the franchising space for the last 24 years, the last 12 of which I have been in home services, both skilled and unskilled. Candidly, I will tell you that I have been a part of the big companies that are out there. I was an executive with Neighborly. I was an executive with the predecessor of Authority Brands, which was a company called Clockwork Home Services. There is some super, super, super tremendous options out there to folks looking to get into this space. I would like to just throw a plug in for us and say that there's a reason why I'm sitting here today as the brand president. And that is because I have seen franchising done well, and I have seen franchising done in a manner that could be a little bit better. And there is a reason why you guys are seeing my smiling, beautiful face here today. And I highly would encourage you guys to reach out to Jerry so that we can have a call and I can explain how we're different than some of the other folks that are out there. So with that, I really do appreciate the time and look forward to answering any questions that anybody has.
All right, wonderful. Cord, thank you so much for jumping in there. I appreciate what you shared. And so since she did such an amazing job on one of our webinars recently, I'm going to ask Catherine if you wouldn't mind taking us through the questions in the chat box. I know you're a little under the weather today. Will your voice hold up?
I think so. Yeah, I'm a little sniffly, but I think we're all right.
Okay.
And so far, we just have one question. Well, actually, Shanir made a really great point that if you're not looking at the chat, you may not have seen, but there are some substantial discounts for veterans, military spouses, and active military, 20% off of the franchise fee for each of those groups, and also 10% off the franchise fee for first responders, and also for women and members of diverse communities. So you have to pick your discount. You can't have all of them, but you that definitely shows the commitment that Threshold Brands has for people that are in the military and first responders, and really supporting small business owners. And then Torrance was asking, he was seeing, as you pointed out, Will, is that you can actually have a home services empire. You could go with all three of the brands. But he was asking, well, then is the 40,000 franchise fee, is that for each individual brand, or is it for all of the brands? And Jerry already answered it, but just in case anybody else had that question and didn't see the answer, each brand has their own franchise fee. So it would be, and they may have also some specifics in terms of how you would want to roll that out. Whether, I don't know if you'd want to start all three at once. You may want to kind of roll out one and then continue with that. But each brand would have their franchise fee.
One caveat, Catherine, with heating and air and plumbing paramedics, we will actually allow them to secure both brands initially with a delayed launch development schedule, because they run the same CRM. They run identically. The only difference is you need a plumber for the plumbing, heating and air for heating and air, but we will allow them to secure those brands simultaneously. I'm doing 2 gentlemen right now here in Texas that are buying one territory, but both brands. And so that is an option. Now, Mold Medics, to do heating and air and Mold Medics, we won't be able to award it that way because they're completely different business models and CRMs. But with heating and air and plumbing, they can secure both now. And we'll award up to 3 territories per brand. So if they want to just have a plumbing, they can secure 3 territories. And then speaking of territories, we're really unique, folks. We are not designing our territories based on population. We build it on single family homes, 100 to 120,000 single family homes. And so our territories are 2 to 4 times larger than a lot of our competition. And it allows a lot of people to come in and secure almost all the market. Example would be Austin. There's 2 distinct territories in Austin. Someone could come in and secure both of those initially. And again, same scenario, we would have a little bit of a staggered launch on those territories, so they don't have to try to cover 700,000 people on day one. We can break that up for them. So
great. Thanks, Jerry, for jumping in. And Torrance had a follow-up question. Could you just clarify exactly what the territory fees are? He's asking if each territory has a separate fee.
So every territory, we don't have an actual territory fee. So you have your initial franchise territory fee, your initial franchise fee, and that gives you an exclusive territory to operate your business. And you don't have to worry about a neighboring franchisee come into that territory and steal any of your customers or do work and advertise into your territory. So that's what the franchise fee is doing. And you're buying a specific territory on a 10-year contract. But there's no monthly territory fee. There's a ton of other fees that are in franchising, but we'll discuss that through the onboarding process. Through the discovery process of learning about the brands and what those things look like. And we'll certainly get you that information.
So does that mean that each territory would be a 40,000 fee for each territory?
So the first one is 40,000. Then each additional for the paramedics brands is reduced by 25%. So it'd be 30,000 for each additional territory.
Great. Thanks, Torrance. And let us know if you have any follow-up questions or if that answered your question.
I have a follow-up question to Torrance's. So, Jerry, if someone were to purchase one territory of heating and air, one territory of plumbing paramedics, will that second territory discount apply on a mix and match, or does it have to be within the brand? You're muted, Jerry.
Yeah, great question. So on our discounts, folks, and I'm going to use the military discount. First, let me back up. With the paramedics brands, we offer a 25% discount for each additional territory in the paramedics brands. Threshold, some of the brands, you have to get a third one in order to get the 25%. So you pay regular for the first, regular for the second, and then the third or more is 25% off. So that's how that works. And so every brand, you have to look at each individual brand's discounts for that to happen. Now on the military, It doesn't matter. You get to use your military discount on every brand, every territory, every time with Threshold. It's not a one discount and done no more, like a lot of our competitors are. If you have 3 of our concepts in 6 territories, that's 6 discounts of 20%. Okay. So great question.
If anyone else has any questions, I think that we've covered everything that's so far in the chat. So please jump in on the chat, or you can always jump in on the call as well if you have another question. And Torrance, did you get all your questions answered on the territories and the discounts and everything?
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. Wonderful. Jerry, talk us through, if you would, and let's say that there's just someone on this call who's just itching to fill out that form. Scan the QR code. You got to do that first. Scan the QR code, then fill out the form. But if we got someone here who's just ready to jump in and begin the discovery process with you to see if this is the right thing, what is the typical length of time from their intro call with you to the day they are awarded their franchise? What does that time frame usually look like? And I'll preface this by saying, to their candidates who are in the room, ultimately, you're going to have your foot on the gas and brake, okay? We're all going to move forward at a pace that is comfortable for you because we want to make absolute sure that you are making the best decision for you, okay? You're never going to be pushed or pressured or asked to speed up. We might actually at some point ask you to slow down a little bit if we see that you're going too fast and not doing a real thorough due diligence. But with that said, Jerry, what's the typical cycle length of time from intro to award?
Yeah, 30 to 60 days, folks. And the push there is we hold a discovery day, and it's really a meet the team day. That's what you're doing. There's no light bulb you're going to discover at our 24-hour event that's going to say, oh, now I'm ready to sign. You're going to have all the concerns, questions, and addressed going to our discovery day. But we only do one discovery day a month, and it's usually the first Thursday, Friday. They're all always in Dallas. So if you started this process today, the next discovery day is June, and you could definitely get to a point of clarity and signing by the end of June. So 30 to 60 days is the average time. I have 5 distinct steps. You have an introduction call. We discuss territory on call 1. The second call is an hour long. It's a presentation of the brand. It is A to Z. You will really understand what's involved, everything we bring to the table. The third call is with Court Aiken and myself, our brand president. We want, if you're going to get across the finish line, we want the candidates to know who they're going to be partnering with for the next 10 years. And so I incorporate that step early in our process. From there, it's the FDD review. It's talking to we only have 7 owners that are open. We have 4 in onboarding, so we have 11. So, reaching out to owners and hearing their story, what they like, what they don't like. And then from there, it's filling out the background, getting approval, and then booking discovery day. So it is a simplified process. And again, we can have as many calls in between all that to make sure that everybody's concerns, questions are addressed. Generally speaking, I try to get funding done in 1 to 2 phone calls, making sure we have the pre-approvals moving forward. You've been talking to somebody. If there's funding needs that are out there, we have a lot of different partners in franchising. And so we try to get those steps moving quicker so that if the candidate can get done at their timeline. The other thing I want to share with you is, folks, from the day you sign the franchise agreement, it takes us 4 full months to get you grand opened. 4 full months, and there's no way to cut it in half. It is that detailed of training. So it's really important that those that are staying employed initially and getting closer, you can probably keep your job for about 60 to 75 days. That 30 to 45 days before grand opening is when you really need to be focusing 100% on your business. The only way we'll allow semi-absenteeism is if the person that's going to be the day-to-day is an owner of the franchise agreement, an owner on the business, and then we'll move forward that way. So it's got to be at least 10% ownership for us to look at a candidate staying employed. It just doesn't work in this industry. You got to have somebody focusing 100% of your time on the business, and a stranger, a general manager, is not going to build an empire for somebody with no skin in the game. So Hope that covers a lot of what you're asking, William.
Very good. Thank you, Jerry.
Sir.
All right. Well, we are getting close to the top of the hour. I don't think there are any additional questions in the chat. Are there, Catherine?
Yeah, Torrance was asking if there's any revenue projections or potential profit projections.
Yeah, so we cannot talk about revenue projections and profit. That's the purpose of you having access to franchisees. You can hear their individual numbers. An existing franchisee can share whatever they want to share with you. I'm governed and protected by the Federal Trade Commission. There's only certain things that we can talk about. Because we do not have 10 open owners in our system, we do not have what's called an item 19. We do not have a historical financial representation publicly out there. So you got to use the time with the franchisees to hear their numbers and their margins. I will share with you industry revenue numbers, and I can share with you industry averages, and then you can take it from there and to figure out if you're an average or an above average individual.
All right. Anything else in there, Catherine?
No, there is not.
It looks like he gave a thumbs up to the answer. So
We're all set. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're good. Thank you, sir.
Well, and
Report.
that's the case too for, I mean, of course, for every franchise, and you may know this already, but they're by law, they are not allowed to disclose any or make any kind of financial claims. And this is obviously for the potential franchisees protection, right? They're not allowed to make any kind of statements as to what you can make unless it's in the FDD, and but the way you get that information is to talk to the existing franchisees. So that's where you can find out the earning potential.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's much better to hear the financial numbers from the people who are real world running this business than it is from some guy sitting behind a desk at my house or wherever Jerry is. You know, you really want to hear the true, real story, both the good, bad, and the ugly. And this is part of the process, like Catherine said, of protecting you. So that's going to be a very valuable source of data for you.
One thing that I will share with everybody on this call is every franchisor's system has profit built into every job that they price. We are a flat rate pricing. So it doesn't matter if I'm at a 2,000 square foot house or a 20,000 square foot house. Swapping out a capacitor out of an air handler costs the same. It doesn't matter the wealth. It doesn't matter. A capacitor is a capacitor is a capacitor. So when we're setting up your price book, we are ensuring that every job has profit built into it. 99% business owners run some of their personal things through their business. That affects net profitability. My wife and I did it with our home services. She wrapped my truck, used it for marketing, and her business paid my personal truck off. Yay me. So it just when you really talk to your franchisees, of any brand, of any business, ask them, you know, how many owner compensation things are they running through their business, because that matters. You know, I don't know of anybody in franchising. I've been in it 8 years. Corey's got 24 years in it. I don't know too many owners that are paying themselves multi six-figure salaries, folks. That's not what you're doing. You would have no wealth at all. You would have no profitability. So, you know, you pay a modest salary, you generate wealth with your business, and you put your wealth away for retirement. That's the purpose of the business, and we can certainly talk one-on-one on those questions. But I just wanted to share that little bit with y'all.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Well, we are at the top of the hour. I want to be respectful of everybody's time, but don't leave yet, because I need to ask Angie Yee if you would be willing to, for the third time this month, help us choose our winner of the $50 gift card. Are you there, Angie?
I am.
All right, Angie, you knew I was going to call on you today, didn't you?
I did.
All right. Well, I was wondering why you combed your hair, and now I know it's because you knew you were going to be on camera to help me out. That's the only reason I combed mine today. But all right, Angie, I need you to choose a number, and we've had a couple people leave already, so if you're still in the room, your odds have gone up. Angie, I need you to choose a number between 1 and 5, please.
I'm going to choose number 3.
Number 3, and let's see if number 3 is still in the house. No, he isn't. Number 3 was Sean Debnath, so he has left. Angie, I need another number between 1 and 5.
I'll have to let him know that he missed the prize. That's too
Right.
bad.
Pick another number, Angie.
Number 1.
Number 1. All right, I think I saw this person still in the room. Oh, no, he's not. I can't believe he left already. All right, Choose another one.
Number 4.
All right. Do we have Josh Williams still in the room? We do not have Josh Williams still in the room. So you know what? I think we are down to Torrance Henry. Torrance, would you like a $50 gift card today?
Absolutely.
You had such great questions. We're just going to send you a $50 gift card. You know, we're going to look over the part that you're like the last one in the room.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Torrance, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully we can have some conversation about you opening your new franchise. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, everybody.